Lisa, I'm so happy to have you here with us. We're very grateful to have you involved with NFT NYC this year, and I'm excited to hear your talk all about legacy, building legacy with NFTs. Can you please introduce yourself, a bit about your background? I think there's lots of people here that'd like to get to know you and your perspective on things.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ian. Yes, so I'm Lisa Loud, and I've been working in NFTs since long before they were cool. Back in the days of the early days of CryptoKitties and everything, I had entered so I'm an engineer, worked in big tech for a long time, Apple, PayPal, Oracle. And at some point I realized, okay, big tech is not innovating where I want to be. So I jumped into crypto, and I've worked at companies such as BitMEX and Shapeshift, really in the exchange space. But I've always been interested in these NFTs, and suddenly they got to be big. So that was really cool for me, because just the concept of NFTs is so flexible. There's so much that we can build with it. So I can't wait to see this industry develop.
When you think about legacy and the importance of a decentralized community, and how people are going to be structuring legacy with NFTs, not in a silo, but in relationship and in community with others, especially as we're decentralizing our communities in this fashion. What's your perspective, and what draws you most to community development around this topic of building legacy?
Great question. So it's really a challenge, because often when I talk to people about NFTs, the question I get from people who are not in the space is, yeah, but is it really the same thing, having something digital versus having something physical? Can you have the same psychological feeling of ownership? And I like to turn that on its head, because really what we're talking about is a digital world. We're all on social media. We're interacting with each other on social media. So how do we make that better, right? It's already here. We're already digitally connected. So let's take that psychological evolution that's happening already, and then we add NFTs to it, and suddenly you have something that is programmable, that can be adapted to whatever situation we have, whatever connection we want to have, whatever engagement we want to have. Let's say a brand wants to engage with the people who love that brand. Well, they can give out NFTs that have some kind of rewards attached to them, build loyalty, build engagement. Let's say an artist or a musician has followers. He or she could offer an NFT, and that NFT later on down the road might have a concert ticket free in 5 years or something, that allows them access because they were an early fan. It gives us a way to track not only our personal legacy, but also the legacy of our most influential people in the culture. And what I'm going to be talking about is building a legacy. And I'll just give you a teaser. My last slide says NFT use case, you. So how can you, every one of the people who's watching this, their computer screen and hearing this, how can you build your legacy with NFTs? That's what matters. That's where community happens, where humanity happens, where we connect with each other. And it's all about making a programmatic entity, a non-fungible token, that can help us to foster that connection, to track our progress, track our history, and really give us a way of interacting more intentionally than just happenstance.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. So as you mentioned earlier, you in the tech world thought that tech giants are not innovating enough. Outwardly, people would think that, companies like Apple, Amazon are incredibly innovative. As you're in the NFT space now, do you think the NFT space is innovating as quickly as it could be, or is there any improvements that you can see?
Really interesting question. First of all, I'll qualify what I said, because I was working at PayPal when I decided that. PayPal used to be very innovative in the finance department, but then they kind of went to, let's be not innovative. So big companies can innovate, of course, but innovation is slow. NFTs are innovating at lightning speed, I believe. There's a lot of people jumping in to this space, and they're the people who come from the crypto world, where like we think differently. We think in terms of 1 month is a lifetime, right? So I think the people who are in the NFT space, innovating, developing right now, are those people who are really lightning fast thinkers. Does that mean we're innovating as fast as we can? I hadn't thought about that question. And if I were to answer it like off the top of my head now, I would say you can never, the challenge with innovating in a new space is that you have either the cowboys or the incumbents. And the cowboys want to move fast, but they don't really know how to do it. They think they know, but they're wrong, and they have to make a lot of mistakes. And so they don't have the infrastructure or the discipline to move fast. And the incumbents, who are the big tech companies, have the discipline, but not the flexibility. So I would say never have I haven't seen a lot of examples where you're moving as fast as you can because you're either hampered by too much structure or hampered by not enough structure. So that balance is the sweet spot. And that's what I always try to bring companies to, that sweet spot where they have enough structure to move forward, but not so much that they're overbalanced.
Well, I really like your balanced perspective. And I'll ask the question about the future with the hope that you can come at it from a realistic perspective as well. In terms of, if I say to you NFT 2024, and you project out people approaching NFTs from a legacy perspective in a couple of years, how do you think the community could be approaching NFT creation differently in the course of the next couple of years than they are today?
Well, you ask hard questions. I've thought a lot about this, and I don't have a real solid answer yet. But what I do have is the idea that what we're doing with NFTs today, it's not, I don't think we have it quite by the tail yet, because we see it as a way of making a lot of money, like all of a sudden artists can sell things and they can make a lot of money. It's not about making a lot of money. It's about doing business differently, valuing the people who support the business by, it's much more of a distributed system, just like the decentralization of everything. Instead of having a company take all the benefits, the fans are the ones. It's not the record label who's going to get all the royalties, right? It's the artist who's going to get the royalties, and it's the fans who are going to support that artist, and the artist who supports the fans. And it's much more of a democratic economy or ecosystem that I envision happening as a direct result of our development of NFTs. And I'm so eager for that, not only so that we can stop having big players take all the profits, but also so that we can globalize a little bit. We can back to balance. We can have more of a balance between the have-nots and the haves, both country-wise and individual wealth-wise. I just think there's an opportunity for a lot more democratization and fairness, and NFTs are one tool that will help us to get there.
I think we should just let it pause for a moment. I really like your answers, and you're very thoughtful about how you answer them. We do keep these short on purpose. So for the sake of kind of a final word, if you imagine everybody from NFTs in Times Square and you have all the billboards and you have everybody's attention, what is something that you'd leave people with and that you try to impact people with in terms of a statement to the NFT community at large?
I would say the idea of Ubuntu, the African concept of I am because we are. So I am because we are. That's my billboard saying.
I love it. I love it so much.
I think there's a lot of people that are going to be looking forward to hearing your talk, and I hope that people will be tuned in to things that you share, not just at NFT NYC, but in general. Lisa, thank you for joining us. For those that are watching us, either live or see the archive, thank you for your attention. This is my co-host for the day, Abraham Gomez. My name is Andy Tilley. I'm one of the co-producers for NFT NYC, and we're here with Lisa Loud, who is going to be speaking about building legacy with NFTs. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We honor you, and we're so grateful to have you be a part of our event this year.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.